so how did I go from this to this? It's magic. All right, it's been a while since I've done another episode. Last episode I did was, I believe it was chapter 2, and since then I've finished chapter 3 and chapter 4. Just finished chapter 4 the other day, and I'm super happy with the way it came out. In case some of you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm doing a 2-hour animated musical called Dr. Frick's Home for the Mentally Unique. And I'm doing it all myself. There's a 26-song soundtrack. It's already available on Spotify. So I finished chapter 4. There's 9 more chapters to go. So far it's taken me 2 years, but this whole thing started 28 years ago, something like that. Anyway, in a couple of weeks is my 78th birthday. Yeah, I can't believe it. And I've been at this for a couple of years. It's going to take me about another 2 years to finish the next 9 chapters, and I'll be about 80. So hopefully at my 80th birthday, you can see the whole film. But you can see chapter 1 now on YouTube and Rumble. That part's finished, and you can see that and see what I'm talking about. So I figured I'd show you what I've been doing, and I've been really, really happy with the results, especially chapter 4 now. With each chapter, I'm learning more and more about how to animate, because I'm not a pro animator. I've been drawing all my life, but animation's a whole new thing. So I've been learning the program called Moho Pro, which is my animation program, and getting my skills together, and got a few tricks that I learned for this chapter, so I'm going to show them to you now, and let's take a look. Okay, so how did I go from this to this? It's magic. At the end of this video, I'll reveal all. It's not going to be a tutorial, but it's going to be walk through enough for you to see what is going on, because I did this without green screen, and that's where the magic comes in. All right, so here's just a little bit of the way chapter 4 opens up, and I'll just give you a little bit of the finished product, and I'll show you how it was done, and we'll get into some of the animation. Tony throws the newspaper in a trash bin. Flo gives him a big thumbs up. Tony, you're doing the right thing. I am. I am? Throwing that newspaper out before you go home to Danielle. All right, so that's basically the beginning, and now I'll show you how it was done. I had to really increase my skills for this particular chapter, because I was going to try to do some animating that I hadn't done before, this certain styles. And this chapter is where Flo, that's this character here, sings the song Go With The Flow. And that's Tony, by the way, and they're sitting on the park bench, and they're discussing things. I won't go into the whole story, but at some point she goes into her song, which is Go With The Flow, which is kind of a sort of an old barroom, maybe 1940s type of song. And here we go. It's you don't sign nothing and you don't help nobody for free. You gotta watch out for your own ass. Know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you about a man I know. Just for the story we can call him Joe. He thought he'd put me in a ball and chain. Put me in the kitchen, why? This man's insane.
Okay, so basically you see I had to create a bar or a nightclub with the appearance of a lot of tables, just tabletops here. And the spotlights were just, just ovals of light colors. But this spotlight here was something new that I used. It's a plugin that gives you lighting, and you could change it around and change the intensity and the color and where it lands and all that kind of stuff. You could even animate the light. So that was fun. Then she goes through her song, and there's a whole lot of verses I won't go through here. Here we got Tony, her friend. He's sitting in the audience.
I've got this friend, his life is always in a rush. He thinks the world revolves around a toilet flush. He wears a uniform and does just what he oughta. But there's more to life than living with your head above the water. He never thinks about the fun he's been missing. He's quite content to sell the things that people piss in. So on his grave they'll say he helped his fellow man, but don't you know, he didn't Go with the flow.
See, Tony is a toilet salesman. He sells low-flow toilets. And he believes he's saving the planet by selling these toilets because they use a lot less water than the usual toilets. The only problem is it takes about 3 flushes to get everything done. But so he wakes up to this, and here's Flo. She's a real party animal. And there's another verse with a woman here. She's 102 years old. And
Go with the flow.
No, she'd say go to hell. She's a bitter old woman.
Go with the flow. Go with the flow.
While all this singing and dancing is going on, 2 men in black are observing from a distance.
so here's the Men in Black. It's part of the story. And then the fun part where I really had to up my skills, we have a whole bunch of chorus boys that come in, and they're doing the jazz hands because this is a real Broadway type song. So here's where that comes in.
Are they the bad guys?
Yep.
Bad guys always wear black.
Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Go with the flow.
Jazz hands, yeah.
Go with the flow. Go with the flow.
And when it's
So we have that again, and then we get down to the big jazz hands dance number at the end. That's, by the way, God playing the trombone. Probably the only one who's ever done that in a film.
if there's a God, I know what he'll say. There was one heck of a party down in hell today.
Go with the flow. 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 Go with the
And that goes on. It's almost at the end there because that's the big finish. And once the song is done, we're back at the park and some dialogue. And then it comes to the big end where Flo realizes she's late for her therapy appointment. And she asks Tony to go with her. And he hates the idea of, well, let's just say he's not too enamored with psychiatrists.
A deja vu moment. Do I know you? Looks like spaced out Tony is starting to connect some dots.
Time for the medication dance. All right, so basically that's the reason for all that is this whole scene in the park is a flashback. Tony's actually in the hospital at Happy Hills, and Dr. Frick is drugging him and hypnotizing him, and Dr. Frick wants to find this book that Tony's father wrote that exposes all his crimes, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. And that's about all for the animation for now. All right, so how did I construct this scene with myself placed in the middle of a photograph that I got from a free source and change the colors and the background? Let's look at the scene first before I insert myself and my chair and all that kind of stuff. Here you have the raw photo where it actually had a seat in here in the photo and no shadow behind it, or very little shadow. Didn't have bricks in the wall. It had no fire in the fireplace. So I actually found a little bit of a fire going here, and I just threw it into the fireplace in the right spot. Then I got rid of the chair that was part of the scene and erased it, and I drew in some shadow. But you can see the coloring and the lighting is all totally not the finished thing. Of course, there was no bricks there either. I had to find a picture of some bricks and put it in there. So once I added the coloring, we got this. And you can see it looks like a dark room with a fireplace. Then I added Uncle Neal. Now this is the finished Uncle Neal, but when I go over here, I'll show you, this was the original. This is a corner of my living room. No green screen, no professional lighting. Using just one microphone overhead, And this is without any colorizing, without any magic. And the way I did this without green screen was to use something that you can find in Final Cut Pro 11. Came with it. It's called a magic mask, which helps you make a mask around the character so you can get rid of the background. Even if you don't have this magic mask or Final Cut Pro, you can get a third-party masking thing that does pretty much the same thing. But this came free with Final Cut 11. So once I put the mask on there, it looks something like this. I actually have two masks in here, and that's something that became kind of the trick I just learned. I don't want to make this a tutorial, but just to give you a little idea, anything I click on will become part of the thing that I'm keeping. So as you see, it'll turn red in a second. That means all this will show in the final product. So if I just click done here, you'll see that part of the wall now shows up. Of course, I wouldn't do that because I don't want this to show up at all. So now here was the trick. Even though it's magic mask, it helps a lot, and it gets rid of the idea of using a green screen to get rid of the background. But still, there were little things here and there which, if there wasn't enough contrast between my face and the background, it would fluctuate. The magic mask wouldn't know exactly what part to mask. It would get lost. So I would have to go in there. And touch up every single frame. That's 24 frames per second, and hand draw the mask. And that was quite a feat, let me tell you. I also wanted to colorize Uncle Neal here. So what I did was I added a colorizing thing, which brought up some contrast, gave it a little more saturation. I added another plugin which gives it a different look, makes it a little more like sitting in front of a fireplace. Then I had to actually add masks to touch up what the magic mask couldn't do. So if I blow this up, you'll see this here is a mask which is just making the edge of my face more defined. The magic mask had a lot of trouble with that. If I take that mask off, you'll see what I mean. See, right over here, it sticks out a little bit too far. That's actually a little bit of the wall behind me showing through. So I had to go through 24 frames per second, and then to make it really work, I had to add a second mask. And this is what I just found out after 5 hours of doing this. I found out you could add another mask, that's this green. You could add that on top, because I ran into a problem where around the edge of my hat, no matter how well I masked it, there'd be just a little bit of a whiter outline, and I could not get rid of it. So I finally watched another tutorial and figured out I could put another mask in there and use it on subtract rather than add. And that, since they were overlapping, would take care of that little bit of a halo that was around the hat. And that was how I done it. From now on, the next bunch of chapters, I'll be able to go through this. It'll still take an awful lot of work, but at least I know now how to get that so it looks really good over there. Anyway, that's how I did it. Well, there you have it. This is what I've been doing 7 days a week, 11 hours a day for the last 2 years or more. It's been fun. I love doing it. And if you want to help me out, by the way, it's going to take me another 2 years to finish the film, but I made an audiobook. It's out now, and it has the whole story written by me, narrated by me, with the 26-song soundtrack. It's really interesting. It's kind of like old-time radio theater, or like going to a Broadway play where you don't have to pay $100 for a bad ticket, and this way you can stop at any time you want to go to the bathroom instead of waiting for the intermission. I think you'll love it. So it's on Amazon, Audible, and Spotify. And I'll be looking forward to doing another one of these soon. You can join my mailing list on Substack, and there's the address over there. I send something about once or twice a month, so you can keep up to date. It's free, by the way. And that's about it. I love doing this. I love to hear comments from you guys. So until next time, as the French say, reservoir.